Welcome back to another video. For those of you who it's your first time watching my videos, my name is Jasmine. I'm 21 years old and I just film random ass videos. If you guys go ahead and enjoy my videos, or at least some of my videos, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up, press the subscribe button, and also the post notification button if you'd like, so then that way you can go ahead and get notified every single time I post a brand new video. So today I'm going to be doing a true crime video. It's going to be about a young couple that are basically high school sweethearts. And yeah, I've been wanting to do one of these videos for a while now. This one really caught my eye, to be honest. I've been following it ever since I found it on Facebook, and yeah, it's really sad and unfortunate that this had to happen to this young, beautiful young mother, but unfortunately it did, and I want to go ahead and spread awareness. This story is about a young girl named Karen Garcia and Salvador Vaca Garcia. They were two high school sweethearts that met in 2019 during school, and they have been off and on ever since. They both were from Williams, California. Karen had recently moved there, and that's when she met Salvador at school. Karen was described as a very young, bright soul, was very friendly, talked to everybody. She eventually became a cheerleader, and she became even more popularly said. Salvador was described more as quiet, more to himself. He was a football player, but just wasn't as social as Karen was. After graduating, the couple actually went ahead and worked at the same restaurant. It's called Granzella's, and it's called Granzella's Restaurant, and it was just a small local restaurant where they worked together. He was a busser and she became a hostess, and eventually moved on to being a server. 1 year later from graduating, when Karen was actually 19 years old, they both had their first baby girl. The couple moved into their own apartment a couple months after giving birth to the baby, because before that they did live with Karen's mom. They moved to Calusa, which is 10 miles away from where they originally had lived in their mom's house. And that's where she lived, in this small apartment with a friend and her husband. And Karen actually lived on the bottom apartment, and the couple friends, or the friend couple, they lived on the second floor. So they described it as a big house, kind of. They were really happy to be living in the same apartment complex. They became really close, and Salvador became friends with her husband, or her friend's husband, and they just began to hang out a lot more together. The more they would hang out, the more they would kind of see Karen and Salvador fight more. They were constantly fighting. They could be lovey-dovey one second, and then the next second they could be fighting, not talking to each other, and just extremely mad at each other. Every time they would fight, Karen was very quiet and to herself about their problems. She never really told anybody about what was going on, or if Salvador was actually very violent with her or abusive or whatever it may be. She just never said anything, and she kept to herself most of the time. Salvador was a very jealous person. He didn't like Karen talking to anybody, no guys or anything. He was just very jealous and very controlling with Karen. One day they were actually at their job's Christmas party, and that day Karen was very friendly with her friends and talkative and social and just being Karen, and Salvador was actually being very serious, just drinking, keeping to himself. And the rest of the night, Karen was just kind of ignoring him, having a good time, making the best out of the night, and Salvador was still being serious. When they all four got to their apartment complex, Salvador went off and started yelling and screaming at her in Spanish, and then he eventually started hitting her open-handed, so basically slapping her. And the friends tried separating it until the friend's husband got in and kind of just tried to calm the situation, but Salvador just went crazy and was like, we're over, we're done, like, we're not together anymore. He was just, this basically was out of jealousy, and he was upset, and he was mad that she was talking to people that he didn't want her to talk to. So that day they took Karen to her mom's house, didn't sleep in that apartment complex after that. Karen decided to go ahead and file a domestic violence charge against Salvador, so they charged him with a misdemeanor, and since then they were completely broken up. Unfortunately, on January 7th, Karen's younger sister Jessica got into a car accident with a wrong-way driver, and she unfortunately passed away. She was only 19 years old. That night, Karen went to the grocery store, and her older sister actually begged her to stay home and be with family, but she just couldn't take it. She told the sister that she would be back, to not worry, she'll be quick, she needed to go to the store. She ended up going to her friend's apartment complex, the same apartment complex that Salvador lived in, and she just wanted to ease her mind. Her friend actually asked her, like, why aren't you with your family? She was just like, it's just too much is going on right now. She kind of wanted to go out and drink with friends. So her and a couple of friends went out and they went to drink, you know, just to help her get those problems off of her mind. Unfortunately, it's a lot that she was going through. She lost her sister and she just wanted to go ahead and have a couple drinks. That same night, I believe Salvador just became curious, called his friends and her friends that she was with. He had seen her car in the apartment complex and was wondering what she was doing and who she was with, and the friends weren't telling him. They were just like, no, we haven't seen her, she hasn't been around. And he was just like, fine, if you're not gonna tell me, then just go ahead and tell her to come tomorrow, pick up our daughter, because they have to go to work at 8 in the morning. Next day, Karen did go ahead and pick up her baby girl from his apartment complex. As she was walking in, she saw her friend Jonathan, which is her friend's husband, and he asked if she was going to be okay to go up there by herself, and she said she'll be fine, that it wouldn't be too long. She was just going to grab her daughter and go home. 1 hour later, her friend noticed that Karen's car was still in the apartment complex. So she said she texted her daily text, which was, yo, you alive? And Karen texted back a thumbs up. And she asked her, do you know what time I work today? Because they were co-workers as well. And her friend thought it was odd that she had asked that, because she always knew her schedule, never really had questions about her schedule at all. So that same day, a vigil was held for her little sister Jessica, and Karen did not show. Karen also didn't show to work the next day, and that's when people started getting worried, because she was always on time if she didn't call out sick, and she didn't show. So people were wondering where she was. They also noticed that her car was still in the apartment complex, but Karen was nowhere to be found. Salvador was acting just as worried as everybody else, trying to help find her, and he was always asking the mom, oh, have you heard anything about Karen? Have you found out about her? Is there any news on Karen? And he was just very worried. So the next day, or that same day, I believe, her older sister went ahead and filed a police report for a missing person, and they went ahead and started a search. On January 10th, Salvador went ahead and did an appearance on the local news, and he was just saying that he was very worried, he was trying to stay strong. Several people noticed that Salvador was actually talking about Karen in the past tense in that news interview. Police became suspicious as soon as they went into Salvador's record and they saw that Karen had previously put a domestic violence charge against him in the past. They eventually took in Salvador for questioning, and he abruptly ended the interview, police say, and didn't want to answer any further questions. So while they were interviewing, the police were trying to obtain a search warrant to go ahead and go through the apartment. And they went ahead into the apartment, and they saw in the back bedroom there was blood on the carpet, and it appeared to be someone, it looked like someone got dragged from the bedroom to the back. Karen was a victim of the homicide. Police blamed Salvador, but they couldn't really do anything because they didn't have any of the evidence that linked to Karen's murder that proved that Salvador did the murder. January 14, 2018, 6 days after Karen went missing, somebody found her car in the shopping mall center parking lot, and inside there was Karen, and she was already deceased, and it appeared to be as if someone had just thrown her on there, and there was blood on her cell phone as well. The coroner's office determined that Karen actually died from blunt force trauma. Police believe that Salvador lured Karen into his apartment on January 8th and beat her to death. The texts that she actually sent to her friend were actually believed that Salvador sent those texts, the thumbs up and what time she worked that day. And then they actually sent out a warrant for Salvador's arrest, but by the time they sent out the warrant, he was already gone and nowhere to be found. A couple of wanted signs that they created on where he could be in California, all the cities he could be in California, and all the cities that he could be in Mexico. He could be in anywhere, to be honest, but those are the places that they think he might be in. They say that he might be working cash jobs, not really using his identity or anything like that. He's really it's been about a year that this incident has happened, and I think it's so sad. They left behind, well, Karen left behind a beautiful daughter. She was so little when this happened, and it's so sad that there has not been any justice at all in this case. They say that she was so bright, she was so kind, she was so friendly, she was so loved by a lot of people, and her life was unfortunately taken away by someone that couldn't control his anger, couldn't control his jealousy, and I think that's so sad. She couldn't stay here with her daughter because somebody couldn't control themselves. And I'm also going to go ahead and put in the description box below a number that you could call and a page you can follow on Facebook called Justice for Karen. And they're still trying to find Salvador Vaca Garcia. So I know I'm a small channel and I don't have a lot of subscribers, but I mean, you never know. Any little bit of information can help. And my condolences go out to the family, because losing your two sisters in 1 week, or a little bit more over than a week, it's so sad. You're mourning somebody and then you have to go and mourn another loved one, and it's just so sad and it breaks my heart. And the least that we can go ahead and do is help and spread the word and just try to get any little bit of information just to get Salvador put behind bars, because he doesn't deserve to be out. Karen is unfortunately gone and we can't bring her back, but we can put Salvador Vaca Garcia behind bars, and my heart just goes out to the family. This is terrible. Spread the word as much as we can. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you guys went ahead and liked it, go ahead and big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and you can press the post notification button somewhere up there so you can go ahead and get notified every single time I post a brand new video. Thank you guys. Bye.